Well, folks, springtime has been in the air. This is going to be our last podcast for a little while. We're here to wrap it up. Yeah, we've been behind. I'm sure you guys have missed us. Probably it's not likely, but hey, I missed you guys, Sean and Bill. So here we are. We're here to talk about the NCAA tournament, amongst many other things. So I see I just got an update. Sean, Mills, what was your X post that you just sent us say?
Michael White got an offer from UVA basketball.
Who's Michael White?
I'm trying to find that out.
Sean, while he's trying to find that out, who did we just recently pick up? We got our first transfer in, you saw.
Yeah, basketball got their first transfer. It was Jurian Dixon from UC Irvine.
Jurian Dixon out of UC Irvine.
Yeah, 6'5", small forward. So I think
38%, 3-point.
Yeah, the comparison is like a Jakari White. Average 15.9 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists, and shot 38.5% from three. So Big West Freshman of the Year in 2025, and named first team all conference. 2
years of eligibility remaining. One thing that I think I pointed out to you guys was just his ability. He's a little bit taller, but he kind of has that long, lengthy look to him. Watch his highlight reel. Just pretty smooth player, so it's going to be interesting to see how he works himself in. I can't say for certain that he's a starter, but let's roll it back a little bit, Sean, at the top of this outline. What did you have for us to start with?
Yeah, so obviously our tournament came to an end against Tennessee. We had chances to bring it in. They kind of controlled the game. It was statistically a very even game. They played well. It's just we couldn't get over the hump and make a run at it towards the end, so we ended up losing 79-72. So the first year, the Odom era, ends with 30 wins and 6 losses, and I just wanted to ask y'all, what did y'all think of the first year of Ryan Odom? How would you grade it?
Go ahead, Mills.
I'd give it a solid B. I'd give it a B.
I don't know if I'm going to put a grade on it. One thing I want to say real quick is that if we were ever going to get Tennessee, that was probably our get. They're going to be probably pretty strong next year, from everything that I can see. But
they're loading up. Rick Barnes, baby.
One thing that I kind of did, and they actually were. You get back to the Tennessee game. I think I mentioned this in that secret pod we did. Was that I think Tennessee just came on at a high time, and it wasn't at our benefit. They became the team that they were supposed to be. But one thing that I'll just say, I'm curious to know, Sean, did the new style win you over? Do you still miss Tony Bennett ball? Are all the fans on board? I've kind of seen a few things on the message boards just kind of critiquing the defense that Odom put out, but I'm not quite sold that that's an issue.
No, I agree that his style of play was not the run and gun that I hated so much. Like some of these teams play when they clanging off the backboard and then it goes the other way. We actually had a pace and we had control throughout the game. So yeah, it's definitely faster, shooting a lot of threes. So yeah, it definitely won me over. I enjoyed it. Defense, I still like that we were known for defensive pressure. We full court press 3/4 of the game, if not all of it. So it wasn't designed to force turnovers. It was just to try to make you work. And we still had shot clocks throughout the year, violations, which was good. So overall, yeah, I liked the Odom style, and it definitely won me over, and it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be coming into a new fast-paced era. So,
Mills, when I wanted to ask you, what did you feel like this team needs to do to where did you see that this team can improve at? Where was our weakness at?
A star player, one. A big man that is not scared to finish at the rim. I still think Grunlow's soft, so hopefully in the off season he gets a little stronger and more dominant. I still think you got to go get a star player, a someone that can take over a game at the end when you need it. The Ritter didn't really do that. He could, but didn't. But I still think you got to go get somewhere at Power Five or what do you a 5-star and try to get somebody. I think Odom can eventually do that with the style of play we play.
I think it's tough though because I kind of like look at that what you say about the star player, and I don't know if I think not everything necessarily hinges on them. And just because I feel like this team was a 20-minute per player, 9-man rotation kind of thing, and like the scoring was just spread out. And I would say that if you kind of looked at the teams like average as a whole, where do you guys think that we end up? I'm not quite sure. I don't have the computer in front of me, but if I had to guess, like points per game, do you think around 78, maybe?
80. I'm gonna say 80.4.
Yeah. So like, what are you gonna get out of that star player? You see what I mean? And the only thing I could see your point from is just kind of maybe like the Boozer effect, maybe the Boozer effect in terms of defense and stuff like that. But I don't think that's as quite as a high priority. I think they just have to continue to replicate success, and that's having two bigs like they had. Like I said, I agree with you to a certain extent. They could probably get someone a little tougher in the paint, but at the same time, I think you may see that from Grunlow, you may see that from Sauce Barkdale. But in addition to that, like the biggest thing that I could see us having to improve on is just cutting down on the mental errors, like the turnovers. That just kind of felt like it
Yeah.
killed us at times.
I do think that, like, I don't think UVA's ever had a true star player except for Brogdon. Like
Ralph.
Brogdon.
Ralph Brogdon. Ralph was before our time, so we never got to see that, but, I mean,
DeAndre Hunter.
our time. I looped those three in together, Hunter, Cal Guy, and Jerome. They could
Yeah, that
each
was a
do
good
it.
three. That was a big three. Mills, how many points a game did you guess that we averaged?
What did I say, 80.4?
thought you
Like,
said
did you look that up
83.
at all?
No. My hands are right here.
That was dead accurate. 80.4.
All right.
I
man.
literally was right here. It said,
I don't
What
know.
was our
where you
points
pulled
on
that-
defense given up?
I'm going to say,
68.8.
I was going to say 72.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, people that critique our defensive scheme, I mean, that's
We
not.
still were not far from
That's
our
not
normal
bad.
average.
No.
Keeping
The only thing
under.
that really sticks out is we had a turnover margin in the negatives,
Oh.
positive on the rebounds, and 16 assists per game, which was good. We made 369 3-pointers all year, over 10 a game. So, but
I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that.
no, I agree, and we shot 46% from the field overall.
That could
So-
be a little better. I'd like it at least be at right 50.
Yeah, but when you shoot so much deep, we didn't, like you said, we needed a scoring big man who could hammer it down on the post. We didn't have that, and I agree with you. I think Grunlow is going to have a chance to get bigger this offseason, and then
Add some
I think the
weight.
Ritter will be more of a dog next year. I think he's going to be that guy. He's got a year, and now he's got to prove a year if he's going to go into the draft. He's got to be able to take over games. And
I felt like with the Ritter a little bit. I mean, he did have that at times where he did he was always like a quiet scorer, I guess. But like, I felt like in the Tennessee game, like he started to have these kind of runs where he did show the player he could be when he stopped playing so soft and scared to go to the cup. So I wouldn't say soft, but there were times that he seemed to just fade away, fade into the background, and not. You know what I mean? Did y'all notice that at all?
yeah, definitely. He would take himself out of games and not really perform like he would, be a little passive. There was times where he made it known that he was going to the rack and he was getting after it. So I like that version of him better than the passive one.
All
so
right.
another
Player you
year,
want to see break out next year?
Tillis.
Who?
Tillis.
Tillis?
Is he gone?
He gone.
Oh.
I was expecting you to say Gertrude. Want to see him break out next year?
If he plays.
Yeah.
I want to see. I'm gonna keep it consistent. I'm gonna say I want to see DeRitter take over more, and I want him to be in that 20 point per game scoring.
I'd
So,
like to see Chance as a starter. See what he does off coming off instead of coming off the bench as a
I
true
think we'll
starter.
see currently with the roster lineup. So our return. So currently our returners are Chance Mallory, DeRitter, Grunlow, Barkdale, Gertrude, the Frenchman Carre, and then Sam Lewis. And then now with that transfer we just brought in, that I missed it. There it is, Jurian Dixon. So
Is
that's
he
who
gonna run a 3? Would he run the 3?
he could. He's big enough to run the 3 or the 4 at six
Dude.
6'5".
The 4,
Not 4.
6'5"?
the
No.
2, and the 3, the 4. No chance.
Maybe
Not,
maybe I
No.
forget his new era
what are
basketball.
you playing in an evangel Christian school? I mean, come on.
Playing the small ball.
I mean,
6'5".
I mean-
He's versatile. We'll go with that. They have him as a
I-
small forward. So
So he'd be running the 2.
small
I
forward.
think he's gonna run
3.
in the 2 to 3 spot. It'll be interesting to see what kind of bigs they get, because I think in order for DeRitter to elevate his game, and that's gonna be interesting to see if Odom will try to position him to be this type of player. I don't think DeRitter is big enough to play the 4 in the NBA. And
No.
that being said, I feel like if he gets the ability, if they get the right personnel, if they can shift him out to the 3 spot, then you potentially, we could play a little bit bigger ball. I think I brought that up, that there is a possibility of something like that. I think that it'll be interesting to see if Odom tries to develop him like that next year. So
I will say a lot of the bigs have been taken off the board, like Carolina and USC, Southern Cal. Southern Cal grabbed 3 7-footers in the portal.
I should have.
I guess everybody's trying to go as big as they can. Is that Florida kid gone anywhere? The kid is like 7'4", whatever
Where's the
he
Arizona
is.
State kid at?
That's the problem. The portal for basketball has been very slow.
It
Just
has.
because they got plenty of time.
wonder if
It's
everybody's
well, that's
playing
because
money
it's
chicken.
closed. They
wonder
said
if
it's
everybody's playing-
closed.
But
You can still sign anywhere. We know the portal is just a figment of your imagination. It's not real.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see, and who knows who? I guess, but I think like you have to look at it too. Like, yeah, they didn't sign anybody in the portal, but they were one of the only probably top 10 teams that they were probably the only top 10 team that had 100% retention. So, a lot of money's probably tied up there.
Are you
don't-
talking about the 7-foot kid,
I think
Dame
so.
Solani from Italy?
I don't know. I'll have to look it up another time.
All right.
I think I sent you guys a guy the other night that I thought would be a good fit for us. I think he was like 6'10", really good, like 40% 3-point shooter. I think that's got to be an emphasis with us to continue. That's the type of ball we play. But anyway, Sean, what
Oh
else do you
no,
have
it's
on?
Masabi Depot. That's his name. He
Is he
averaged
still-
13. Yeah, he's still at Arizona State. He's still 13 points.
Hey, but what's his blocks per game though? I think that's what I think it was like 1.8. I think that's what I kind of keyed in on.
2.1.
That's a lot of blocks. That's a pretty high average. So I mean,
Yeah.
like that seems like really comparable to like replacement for Ian. So if you ask me, like if he's getting 2 blocks per game, you know what I mean. So that's like somebody I'd like to see them go out and get. I want to say he's in the portal. So
Is it still in the portal?
cha-ching. He's costly. He's expensive. I think bigs are the most expensive. What I see like average like 3 to 4 million for a top big,
It's
something like that. So
this CB basketball, whatever they are, says 3 to 5 for centers.
do y'all feel like y'all remember last year, like they were really slow to get their bigs in too? Remember, like we kept saying, we gotta get a big, we gotta get a big, we gotta get a big. I want to say Grunlow was one of the later additions, and then it was Ian. So
It's hard to remember. Oh, that was a whole year
To
ago.
be honest with you, it just felt like it was started out slow, but then it was like rapid fire. Like I
But
just
you
remember
also
when we got the
needed-
first one.
I
You
just
need to
remember saying,
overhaul
"Oh,
the
that's
team.
great, but we don't have no big." You know what I mean? And we got crushed the year before him and down in the paint. Like we just struggled so good. So it was so great to have big men again.
Yeah.
But
I think that's where we have the ability to sit back and wait. You want to know a team that doesn't have the ability to sit back and wait, and I think it's going to be hilarious to see what happens?
LSU.
LSU. They have one player on their roster currently.
They'll be fine. It's LSU. They're going to throw money and people will go towards the money. They'll be just fine.
Yeah, currently one player on the roster. I mean, if you're Will Wade, at what point do you start getting nervous that you have nobody?
He ain't nervous. He's got the buyout. He's fine. They fire him. He gets paid. He
I
ain't
mean,
worried.
but you have to still field a team.
I think a lot of that, Sean, is more propaganda thing where there's a lot of Will Wade haters out there that are just going to try to throw that out there. But they're not. I don't think there's anybody should be pretty nervous. Like I agree with Mills. They're going to get their players. They're going to spend money and get players.
Right.
But
They're
that's
spending
but that's
money.
the thing though. Is like, can he get them all together? He didn't get them. He didn't get them together at North Carolina State. So maybe he'll have better success where he's at. I don't know.
I mean, he didn't build a bad roster at NC State. They just didn't
No,
play
he
well
didn't
together.
execute with a good roster.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Before we move into football, one more thing I want to ask Mills about basketball. How are you feeling about this UConn game?
Love it.
Is it official?
Pretty much. They're pretty much saying that UConn, Duke, in Vegas, and then we'll be at Times Square at MGM or
You think we
Madison
can get
Square.
one more top caliber team on the list? You think we will?
They're saying Michigan State, so that's some other rumors that are going around. So
Is that going to be a Cardiac Who's road trip? Take the train all the way into New York?
I go to the UConn.
No,
Watch
Virginia
UConn.
UConn at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
We'll
I'd
leave
go
our
to that.
property taxes back home and
Yeah.
head on back. Head on up.
I mean, I do think that we should. I also would like to see us play in the was it Battle for Atlantis or go down to Hawaii, like play in some actual legit competition instead of playing Northeast Central
ballroom.
We
Bobcats.
talked about it. We needed Odom to get his feet wet and get settled in. Now you can start
But
playing
those are
especially
those are invites though, right? Invite only.
yeah, but I'm
So,
sure you
I
can
mean-
lobby for it.
I feel like if we have another year like we did last year, I think we'll become that option. You know what I mean?
I think
Yeah.
In the
we have-
meantime, I think we have to schedule these one-off.
And I
this
think
is
it's gonna
very
be
good.
I think it's also going to be interesting who we match up with the the ACC SEC tournament challenge, and if we also going to get another like Ohio State in the middle of the year. I think that is very helpful, especially for come tournament time. I did like having that game in the middle of at the back end.
I think
That's
we'll
fine.
see better non-conference this year, especially with the fact that we have 10 returners on the
Well, I
roster.
think some of them already set though. Remember, they do these things that are set out 4 or 5 years in advance, so some of the stuff is already set out.
Let's
But
see if there's anything.
yes, Ben, it does make you feel a little like, all right, if UConn wants to play Virginia, that's good.
I muted myself for that one. Yeah, well, that's good. And so yeah, that kind of wraps up basketball. I thought it was definitely worth mentioning. If people didn't know that was an option. I think that's a great thing.
Well, last year they didn't re-announce the non-conference schedule till August, so we still have a little bit of time before the non-conference gets solidified. Football, you have those contracts in place earlier on and kind of locked in. So I think there's still be some moving. So I think you'll definitely see a tougher non-conference. So I don't think we're ducking anybody in the non-conference this
And
year.
especially with 76 teams, just go ahead and play a tough schedule. You'll get in no matter what.
Yeah,
very
we might
true.
as well load it
And
up.
also,
Even
in
technically
addition to
doing
that, we don't
60
really.
minutes.
There's new players that we're bringing in, but we don't necessarily have the same situation that we were in last year, where we got to get these players meshed up and synced up, and need a lot of these tune-up games. Like the guys that are coming in. I mean, legitimately, we almost have a starting five already. I don't know who the starting five is, but I can tell you at least 4 of the 5 starters off the bat. And there may be a current player that's going to start already from last year's squad, so we don't really know. You know what I mean? So there's already that. What's that word that I want to use? there's already like a good flow
Continuity.
with continuity. Yeah,
I agree with
exactly.
that.
So two new players that we just added in football moving forward in the football spring. I
Yeah,
think when does spring practice wrap up? The spring camp.
spring game is when it wrapped up. That was the end.
Okay.
Everything should be done now, and we'll do
Summer
some stuff in the
workouts.
summer. Yep, and then fall camp will get going here. Obviously, get toward the end of summer. But yeah, we talked about the Central Florida and defensive tackle Curvin's shoot last played at Connecticut, and then again Columbia defensive end Justin Townsend. It's kind of odd. I mean, late in the year, but hey, we'll take it. It gives us some more added depth to go with Jason Hammond and Britton.
Right.
Um,
I think I
so
saw
and plus
Towson's
the other
name
portal additions.
quite a while ago. I think we're just waiting on him to finish up school. And again, like you said, Sean, just depth. And I think we have depth. Everything that I'm kind of hearing from preseason, Tony thinks that this is the best team he's had at Virginia so far. He thinks it is better than last year's team. I don't know if you guys have heard that yet.
I mean, when you look at the roster and how complete it is, the quarterback room, the running back room, the defense, I would until we see it on the field. I'm not going to say 100%, but on paper, it definitely looks like the best team he's ever assembled. So Porto Elliott's back at it.
It's gonna be tough to get 11 wins, though. I will say that much. Mills, kind of where you feel like 8 or 9 again. It's kind of where you're at.
8, 9. Yeah. I mean, got like you say, this new way of football with the transfers, you don't know what you're really getting until you see a game or two. So can't really dissect it until you watch them for a game or two. So that NC State game in Brazil definitely gonna be a fun one to watch.
I think this is definitely gonna be more of a versatile team, like from what everything I could tell, because it sounds like they're pretty deep in the running back room. So I think schematically, I think you'll see a lot of what we saw last year, but I'm also thinking that we're gonna be able to see a lot much different. We're gonna be able to see many different packages, and we have a better O line than last year, and health
I'm
pending.
slightly
You
worried
you
about the
got
receiving room, the receiving core room. A little,
well,
you
yeah,
lose Edrin.
I understand what you're saying. I think that I think you're concerned just because there's just not a lot of like familiarity, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
But we did get a couple guys transferred in, that they're pretty high on. Some guys that need to step up. Can Cam Courtney be that guy?
We thought he was gonna be it last year.
I don't know. I never projected him to be a starter last year.
I did. If you go back, I think I said I was high on him, and he didn't really
I
show out.
think
I mean,
I
he
think
always had
I
some
think
catches.
that Cam Ross kind of like got some of his routes, got some of his run, and I think Cam Ross was a little better than I was
Courtney.
willing to give him credit for. Maybe I was a little biased for some reason. I don't know why I was biased about Cam Ross. Maybe Sean had the same thing, but
Like that quick flash in the opening game, you're like, oh, these going to be great, and then he hung around. But I think what you'll see though, Mills, our receiver room has got a lot of experience. Gibson, grad transfer, a graduate student. Rico Flores Jr., graduate student. Dylan Newton Short, sophomore, but we saw what he could do a little bit. Deshaun Martin Jr., Cam Courtney Jr., Tyson Davis, graduate student. So we got a lot of experience there. So I think you'll see that play out better than just having a whole bunch of young guys. Obviously, we don't have like the Ohio State wide receiver room, but I think we get guys who can make plays, and I think our quarterback Bo Perbula will spread the ball pretty well, and we'll see what they got when we get into gameplay. But I wouldn't be worried about the wide receiver room.
not to mention you have Dakota Twitty, and then just the
John
after
Rogers.
effect of what can that offensive line do for that running back room that also impacts that wide receiver room. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think that there is a lot of potential right there.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we have another favorable schedule.
Yeah, I
With
do.
that
I don't think it's
running
very.
game,
I don't think
I
it's
think we'll see
farly. I don't think it's very indifferent than last year. I think the Brazil thing have you kind of changed your mindset on the Brazil game at all?
What was my
Because
mind?
well, what I mean is by that initially I wasn't very happy about the Brazil game being our opening game against being our first game being the ACC in Brazil against NC State, who
You don't
I
want
don't
to
think
watch it on Telemundo.
No, I'm just saying that I was just saying like initially like my perspective of the game was not really excited because I want to get off to a great start. That's all. And I think maybe we are a little hamstrung, but maybe this team's better than better than that, and it's not going to be an issue.
Let's just send the Brazilian women to the NC State hotel.
There you go.
So, besides the portal news, some more big football news is the contract extensions. And Tony Elliott got a contract extension that keeps him through 2030, plus a pay bump. Now making 5.4 mil a year, and it will increase by 100,000 through May of 2031.
Isn't there like an automatic 1 year extension if he gets another
Yeah,
10
that would,
game season?
yep, 10 game or 10 win season, he'll extend by 1 year. Or if they reach the ACC Championship game, 1 year extension. Yeah.
Mills, would you give him 1 year for beating Tech? One more year, one extra. Would you add an additional year if he beat Tech? At Tech, back to back wins. Oh my gosh, I would sell my soul. Not sell my soul. I'd sell.
Oh my god!
I didn't mean sell my soul. I meant I would sell out for that. Like I would give up that.
I don't understand why we're doing a 4 year extension on a one good season. Like, don't get me wrong. It makes no sense. Okay, why back it up? Back it up this year if you would have done well this upcoming year. Then didn't do extension. Why are we jumping at this?
I tend to agree with Mills on this one that I would have liked to see him play out. And it's not like the NFL where
He ain't going nowhere. Nobody in the Power Four wants him.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, someone might
I will.
try to pick
Name
him up.
an SEC school that would pick him
Well,
up.
you said Power Four. Now you've changed it to SEC.
No, hold on. Power Four. Let's go to
I'm
SEC.
saying in general, I agree with. Don't make me disagree with you. I'm just saying, I agree with you that we needed. I would have liked to see a back it up year, kind of like in golf. You have a birdie, you got to validate it. You had a 10-win season, let's validate it with another 10-win, 9-win season. Back it up. But you
He
can't.
could have validated with 8 wins. If he would have won 8 wins, yep, sign him to a 3-year contract. I'm 100% behind that.
So I agree with that. Now, but what if he comes out and we shit the bed and go 5-win season?
Or 3 wins.
Now we got to. I mean, luckily the buyout's only $5 million. We didn't sign him no LSU Brian Kelly buyout, but the I just agree. It's good for him. He's getting the extension, but for a fan, I would have liked to see a little bit more, not just one flash in the pan before we gave him an extension. This is a second extension already.
Right, and a little turn of the knife at Mills too was it wasn't just him that got an extension.
Oh, yeah. Don't even get me started. Nope. This is a child friendly episode. Nope.
And Coach Rudd are making $1.2 million for 2026, and their salary will raise by $50,000 in the last 2 years of their deal.
Mills, they finally got the pieces they want. Okay, maybe Coach Rudd has it.
Ben, I'm throwing you under the bus. Ben, you didn't want this. You know when you saw it. You're right. But don't even. You didn't want this.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Look at you. You're laughing.
I'm laughing because I sent it to you because I knew it would fire you up. That's why.
It pissed me off. I was at work and y'all sent me that thing. I was so pissed.
Just as much as Kyron Jones going to
Green Bay. Ooh, get you that Drones jersey, baby.
You know what? Turn him into a tight end, baby.
Yeah, wear that maroon up there in the Bay.
So, do you know how much the Duke loss hurt Coach Elliott? If his contract extends,
not as much as it hurt me.
Well, yeah, but he would have got under this new contract. He would have got.
You know who enjoyed it? You know who enjoyed it though? JMU fans enjoyed it.
Oh, they did, but golly,
I think
man,
Oregon will score it
how
again.
dope would it have been to finally won one? You know what I mean?
1995, baby, long time.
It was a co-championship back then too. A whole different thing. This would have been way different if we had
The
won.
champion.
The champion,
Mm.
defeated all odds.
Had it in
Because you
his
got to go
hand.
back and look. You got to go back and look how crazy that. If you went back and told everybody that did the preseason predictions, like, hey, um,
Weren't we like picked 14th?
yeah, like maybe 3+ over under was like wins was like the projection. Like they said, that was crazy.
All right. So now, kind of segue, we might have lost that ACC championship game in football. But you know what we didn't lose? We are the back-to-back men's golf ACC champions. So you got to give it up to the boys. Kind of got a little nervous there, Mills. I know we were texting and watching it. We were a putt away from losing it against UNC in the semifinals. And then Paul Chang comes up and buries.
First off, stop. Let me ask you a question. And don't lie to the camera. Did you not think we lost? Don't even.
Do I ever think we'd lose?
Oh, you definitely
It was
texted
never
me and
over.
said, yeah. You texted me and said, yeah, this is over.
No, I said it's not looking good.
The roles have been reversed.
No.
Never
He
say
said
never,
it-
Sean. There's
Match play,
still
they had to
time
make
on the
it.
clock.
Exactly. Remember the Virginia Tech game? Mills said it was over with a minute and a half to go. And I said, you shut your mouth.
And we lost.
And triple overtime. Not when you said it
Bill.
at the end of regulation. But either way,
Remember Mills in the Duke UConn game? He said this thing's over with 5 minutes left, and look how that panned out. Had to take a shot at the Duke boys. They're not listening, but who cares? So, back-to-back ACC championship, Sean.
yeah.
How long of a putt was it?
It was,
15?
yeah, I was about to say, it's about a 15, 20-footer. So to set
I'd say
the
I
stage-
buried a 15, 20-footer today to save par.
There you go.
Back-to-back putts, by the way.
So in the finals, Ben James absolutely destroyed Lang from Stanford, 6-4. That was a good comeback. He had
Coming off a loss to UNC,
yeah, he
though.
lost to a freshman for the UNC match, and then Brian Lee defeated Gao 4-3, and then Paul Chang defeated Grazerman 3-2, which was huge because Paul. The story on Paul Chang is incredible. He came to Virginia, wasn't even on the golf team, wasn't recruited, but he was on the range every day and tried to figure out how to get on the team. It wasn't until Coach Sargent.
Wasn't he on the club team?
He was on the club team, and so Coach Sargent was walking in. I think it was the U.S. Amateur event, and Paul was there playing, and Coach was watching him or watching another player and saw what Paul was doing. And at one point, Paul looked over at him and was like, "Don't you worry, I'm gonna make this putt." And then he buried it. And then I think the next morning or a couple days later, back on grounds, he was in Coach's office, and now he's the anchor for our match play. So it's a really cool story, and you can get that story if you go watch out the official visit YouTube video by PGA Tour U, which Ben James is #1 in PGA Tour U currently, and with that he will get a year and a half of PGA Tour status, which would be really awesome.
They need to get him on corner media. No
Ben
love for the
James?
golf team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely some love for the golf team.
I don't think Ben
Uncle.
has the
You see a different
would
side
be-
of him in that video. The
Yeah, I don't-
PGA Tour U video. They were at the basketball. They were at one of the basketball games.
Speaking of corner media, interesting interview. You had old Armstrong come back on the interview with
Elliot.
Elliot.
Didn't
I
watch
thought
that.
that was. Did y'all watch it all?
No, I hadn't. I haven't called up.
I found it pretty interesting, but I don't know. I know there's not any tension in the air, but some part of me felt like there was.
Oh, I felt it.
Did you? It wasn't just me then.
I felt
Like,
it.
Yeah, I don't
Some
know.
of the questions that he asked, I was like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that it was And I thought to myself about that a little bit. I mean, we don't have to talk about this, but hey, what else do we got to talk about? I kind of felt like if I look back at Armstrong gave a lot to UVA. You know, I don't ever feel like it was bad for us, but did he ever kind of put us in a hole as a program by not by going to NC State? Because who do we get? We got Musket in AC that year. What would have our fortune had been had we had Armstrong? I'm not saying it would have been vastly different, but it could have been. You know what I mean? It could have been a very different year. It could have been a win or two there. You know what I mean? Out of him. Just a thought. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about that at all. And it did the parting of ways didn't seem as amicable as I thought that it could have been.
I don't think you hold it against a guy who gave you 5 years and then decided to transfer out for his last year. That he came off a bad year and he wanted to try his luck, go back with the Robert and I system. And, he gave it 1 year with Dez and he didn't like it. So he said, all right, I'm going to go elsewhere, give it a try. And again, he gave us 5 years. And again, statistically, he is the best to ever do it for Virginia. So 9,000 yards in five seasons.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. We may never ever have that again. And I think Mills would agree
not
with
with
you.
COVID and everything else.
No,
You might get 5 years, but you'd have to have
no,
it.
but it's not even that, Sean. It's that
You're not playing.
portal. It's the portal error. It's the portal error. You're not going to get a guy that
You
is going
may
to
not
come
get
play.
one.
That's going to start for
Well, you
3
say
years
that,
at
but then you
UVA.
look at football and Virginia basketball was able to maintain all 10 guys.
That's
But
different.
I don't think I agree with you. It may not happen in football. Like it's definitely not going to happen to that level. But I mean, a 5 year guy, there is an asterisk beside his name. But I like what he did. I don't hold anything against him.
I don't either. It was just a thought that had crossed my head is the what if he had stayed?
I
What would
agree.
have been the arc?
I agree
of
with you on
UVA
that one,
football?
Ben.
But Mills, let me ask you, when do you think we'll see an organic UVA starter? Not we pulled them out of the portal and got a starter. Do you think we'll ever? When do you think we'll have that?
When the NCA and whoever it is creates a government body of a CBA or something. If it's going to continue like this, you're just going to continue to see portal kids. And honestly, if you're not a top 15 high school quarterback, you should probably go to a lower school like the G5s and start and then get transferred to your power fours and get that experience. Because what's happening is you come to high school kid comes to UVA and he sits for 2 years and Elliott's still going to go get a portal kid to start. So
Well,
you're
AC
not playing.
burned him. Well, AC burned him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sean, you think we'll have a organic starter ever come out?
Organic starter comeback, like
High school.
homegrown. I mean, we may have that ability in the next few years, but if you got the potential to go get two studs like we did with Bo Perbula and Eli Holstein, I mean, why not continue to look in the portal route and look to get someone? Because that's football, you have to have a quarterback. So if you take a shot and say, oh, this guy's going to be our starter, and then he doesn't do well, you might as well have someone ready to go.
Yeah, I'm not going to kick this can down the road. The only thing I'll add to that is with Eli coming, if he comes back next year, which I think is the plan, if everything goes, that didn't work out with Danny, but at the same time, maybe you do see an organic Virginia quarterback come out of that because you may have a guy that's a third year at that particular time that can take that on, but I'm not quite certain of that. If they're, so. But before we wrap up, fellas, with this, Mills, I know you're probably a little disappointed, but I want you to kind of, it is big news. I think we're kind of coming to a close. Wrap up with a little bit of lacrosse and, can baseball salvage this year with their new coach for his first year?
So I'll start with lacrosse. Big shout out to Brennan Millen. He's the rookie ACC player of the year. I think he has 67 points, so 30+ goals, 30+ assists. Kid's a phenom. I might even put him up there with what he did, what Connor Schellenberg did his first year. The UVA great. So they got a big one. They snuck into the ACC Championship. We're still a bubble team, as they like to call it in the bracketology, but played number one Notre Dame first. We already beat them, but they're firing on all cylinders. So it'll be interesting to see how they play come Friday down in Charlotte.
Is our NCAA bid gonna really just predicate off of how we do in the ACC tournament?
No, I mean, win or lose, we'll still be a bubble team. It's really going to depend. Like, we can't afford to have, like, the Ivy League still a bid, or the Patriot League still a bid, or, like, the A10. So we need those guys that are, like, supposed to win the conference, so there's no bid still in.
All right. So you hear that, producer Madison? You better get out and go cheer on Richmond.
Yeah. Baseball's a different story. Tough last 10 games.
Tough series this past weekend.
Yeah, they got swept by Pitt. They canceled the game today. You're gonna start seeing this now of the RPI cancellation. Teams that are now fighting to make it into the tournament, they're canceling against teams that are bad RPIs. Like UNC canceled against Queens today. RPI was like 280. UVA canceled against Norfolk State. They're at 308. Like, it's just bad. That you're gonna start seeing that. But for what Pollard and them is going, the big question is, our two All-Americans had set out 7-8 games, and they were called day to day, and there was no real justification of like what the injuries were. I mean, we gave some quality time to some first years and some sophomores, but you're taking two All-Americans out of the batting lineup. It's been tough. Pitching's been bad. We're relying too much on Lucas Hartman. I think he's pitched now in 27 games, and we're not giving the ball to like our young stud freshmen just to try to figure it out. But the good thing is we got a doubleheader on Sunday against Radford. Hopefully they'll get both wins. They should. And then that Cal series next weekend is going to be very key at home. The last home series. So that's going to be key. I think we already made the ACC tournament, but we're not hosting. Unless something drastic happens. You will not be seeing a host in Dishroom Park.
I know that was on your checklist for this year, so that's a bummer. But
yeah, they had the chance to host. They were at one point a top 8 team, and now they hate to say it, but they shit the bed. So,
how's Mississippi State doing?
Pretty good.
Okay, let's check it out.
The kid. I was telling Sean, the kid from. He went to Mississippi State. He was a high schooler. First
Jack
year.
Bauer.
Jack Bauer. Throwing 102 over. He topped out at 104. Apparently, he's just got straight gas.
Well, I think that about wraps it up, fellas. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate our listeners' time. As always, fellas, send us off, Sean.
Go Who's.
Around the horn. Go Who?